Hi Swayze, it's me, that vegan teacher. I just saw part 1 that you did of a video talking about me, and I just wanted to correct a couple of points. Well, first of all, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, and second of all, before I do all that, I just want to say I come in peace. I know that you are a vegan animal rights activist, I know that you're an ethical person, and I do want to correct a couple of things that you said. But before I do, I want to also say that in November of 2020, just a few months ago, my best friend died, and he really liked you. So I don't know if he was subscribed to your channel. I wasn't, but we had both talked about you a few times, different points you made, and we had a couple of little debates about it. So whenever I see you, I'm sort of triggered, I guess, in a just a nice way, a nostalgic way. Like, oh yeah, Danny and I used to talk about her. So when you're mean to me, like you say things like I'm cringy or whatever, it's hard for me to be mad at you because I think, well, Danny liked her. My friend, he and I were vegan. I was vegan a year before him. And one of the reasons that he became vegan is I gave him an ultimatum, because after I'd been vegan for a long time, I said to him, look, you claim to be a good person, and you're always saying that you're trying to do what's the best thing, and you know I've been vegan, and now it's starting to really hurt me a lot, seeing you eat these dead animals in front of me and not be vegan with me. There's zero excuse, you know it. So if you don't become vegan, we're not going to be friends anymore. Now, I know that sounds really drastic to a lot of people, but this was a very solid friendship, and I meant it though. I was going to cut him off because I knew that there was no way that I could continue, because fundamentally I really did not believe that he was a good person if he kept contributing to these harmful practices and these industries. And I don't want to be best friends with a hypocrite. Anyway, so I told him, I said, you need to be vegan at least for a month and see how you feel. At least do it for a month. And I said, don't call me, don't talk to me unless you're vegan. So I hung up, and 3 days later he called me and he said, I've been vegan for 3 days. And honestly, I started crying from tears of joy because I was so afraid that he, that our friendship would be ruined. But this is why I'm such a hard ass. This is why I'm so tough on people, because I think we need to push things to the extreme with those that we love. And I'm not saying that's for everybody to do. And this was just an unusual circumstance because he was highly intelligent and highly compassionate. The kind of guy who would just like cry at movies all the time. Like, he had every ingredient in him to be an ethical vegan. So I just want to say I think you contributed a little bit to that. And whenever I see you, I think of him, and I miss him dearly. We used to talk every day about politics and TED Talks and everything, and we were always trying to improve together. We would read books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We studied Byron Katie. We did all kinds of stuff together. But he died in a boating accident in November, and I think about him every day, and it's anyway, I know I'm cringy. I feel like I'm cringy sometimes too, but I guess I'm asking you to maybe try to consider not using that word. I don't think it's helpful. Maybe talk about only the things that I stand for, what I say, and I think in general, Swayze, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, you're trying to be fair, and I appreciate that. And I just want to correct you on a couple of things. You said that with Tommy, that I took down a video. You insinuated in the first few minutes of your video that I took down some video talking about Tommy in it. For anybody else who's listening, I feel like I'm just talking to you personally on a FaceTime, but you're not there. By the way, if you ever want to connect in real life, I would love that. It'd be so cool. Maybe you have some tips for me about how to not be cringy. No, but I actually cringe. It's whatever it is what it is. That's how I got to have 1.6 million followers, by doing what I'm doing, just doing whatever comes to mind in terms of creativity and everything. So anyway, so yeah, if you could just do me a favor and not mention the cringe part too much. I don't think it's helpful. I think it's kind of mean. It'd be like saying that I have a big nose. It might be a fact, but how does it help? You know what I mean? Anyway, I wanted to say, yeah, I did not take the video down about Tommy, which you insinuated that I did. You said it can't be found and it's a good thing or something that I took it down. I never took it down. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I was talking to a 16-year-old. There was nothing weirdly cringy about it. I'm just talking to him. I mean, the camera's close up, and I give a little wink because I'm telling him to go and see this other personality who is Miss Tofu, who you were at least smart enough to figure out is another character that I play, as opposed to I Never, who never did his research and actually thought that that was another person altogether. Anyway, having said that, I want to show you something. You or everybody else. Yeah, these are the outfits that she wears. You see, she's got, I bought a long time ago these two dresses. They were $5 each, so I thought I bought a couple of them because they're just like that bathing suit material. You can never wrinkle it or anything. And I knew they would come in handy, and they did. So I see this is That Me Teacher Miss Tofu, and she's on TikTok. And because TikTok has this function where if you want to talk and do a video with a green screen behind you, you can't use a second effect. I had to do this reverse thing. Anyway, it's a long story, but I had to do reverse. So there you see, I have two kind of similar outfits. One is reverse and one isn't. So anyway, Swayze, I want to thank you for your work. I hope that we can connect in the future. I know you're about to make 2 more videos, and who knows, maybe you'll be extremely mean and I'll hate your guts after that. Hopefully I won't. No, I think you can try to be fair. But I want to just clarify a couple of things in case you or anybody else is confused about who I am and what I stand for. I call out every single group, every person on the planet for not being vegan, whether they're a kid, a 13-year-old. You have to be 13 to be on TikTok, so I'm assuming that I'm talking to teenagers. Whether you're 13, whether you're 16, whether you're 90, I will say something to you if you're not vegan, because I feel like it's really important that we educate people, because in the school system, we certainly don't. So many people are uneducated and don't have a clue. So that is one thing I will do. And I want you also to know that it doesn't matter to me what their religion is, what their gender is, whether they're fat or skinny, whether they're tall or short, whether they are Jewish or Muslim or Christian or atheist. It doesn't matter to me. Whether they're gay, lesbian, bi, pansexual, whatever, trans, I will go after anybody, and especially if they claim to be a victim. And this is why I am struggling a bit with my direction on TikTok, because on the one hand they said, well, you can't go after the LGBTQ community unless you're one of us, which never makes any sense to me. Why can't you go after anybody? So I thought, okay, well, maybe I should let everybody know that I'm bisexual. The rest of the world knows. I just never happened to have mentioned it. It was no big deal when I came out of the closet when I was a teenager. I just did it. I just knew that I was that, and that was it. I never got abused by it. I never got anybody try to beat me up, or it was mean or anything. So to me, coming out is nothing. I mean, I don't go around telling everybody, but people know. They know. Anyway, so, and yeah, presently and throughout my life, I've been in monogamous relationships, and that's it. It has nothing to do with why I'm here, but I'm just mentioning that when I did come out as a member of the bisexual community, saying, okay, well, now I can talk about the LGBTQ community and how you guys are talking about how oppressed you are, and then they will sort of understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't oppress the animals. I mean, to me, it's like I have this image of them. It's like they're stepping on a turkey's neck and then talking about how oppressed they are. It's like, excuse me, could you like not step on the turkey's neck, and then maybe I'll listen to how oppressed you are, but you're literally killing that turkey or any other animal 3 times a day with your meals and your dairy and your eggs, and you're crying about how oppressed you are. So, but that didn't work, and that's where we see all the hypocrisy and the cognitive dissonance and the average person, like you talked about in the video, how people have a really hard time. Because before that, when I would see somebody, one time I did a video on TikTok, and I was getting a lot of fake, people saying, oh, my brother's uncle's sister's friend died because of you, because they followed your advice, as if I'm giving any dietary advice. I'm not. I'm simply saying follow the guidelines that are already there. I'm not making up stuff. Oh, that reminds me, I want to touch on something that you said when we were talking about the saliva thing in the other video. When a non-vegan kisses non-vegan kisses a vegan, and the saliva thing and the body temple and all that. Yes, I was referring more to Gary Francione type thing. It wasn't like a weird kind of thing in that other way. It was a philosophical kind of thing. Okay, just so you know, so we're clear, because you were sort of questioning that. Okay, now I lost my train of thought. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so yes, I will go after members of the LGBTQ plus community. And what I did on TikTok is I thought to myself, okay, how can I get these people to understand? And so one of the things I did is, I was getting a lot of videos that or response things that were saying, oh, chicken and fuck you and I want to eat my chicken. And then I thought to myself, I saw one of the duets and this guy happened to be black. So I went up to the camera like this and I said, I noticed your skin color. So and I was basically trying to give this message that if you understand what your ancestors went through, the oppression that they went through, then hopefully you will not want to enslave these animals. And Swayze, I couldn't have tried harder to show that the empathy for this community. I have stood up for any minorities as long as I can remember. You can ask anyone in my family, they will say that. From the time I was really young, I hated unfairness, I hated bullies. So what I was doing in that video is simply saying, look, hello, your skin is dark, your ancestors were abused, they were enslaved, it was terrible, it is so wrong to do that to anybody, and so therefore, maybe, don't do that to the animals. Okay, so it's like I will take whatever they have. If I'm talking to a kid, I will try to find something that I have that relates to that as well. Like I'll say, if I'm talking to, let's say, a teenager, I'll say, well, teenagers aren't supposed to be murdered, right? So why do we murder these type of animals when they are teenagers or even younger? So maybe that doesn't make any sense to anybody, but this is what I'm going for. This is what I'm going with. And the same as somebody who is, and this is one that's really controversial in the vegan community right now, is the whole Holocaust thing. People hate me and others like me who say we need to stop the animal Holocaust because they want that word exclusively used for humans. And I say, why? What the animals are going through right now, being gassed to death and being enslaved and being trapped and being, raped and for like just the whole cycle of violence is horrific. And I don't see it as being different. I'm not saying that animals and humans are the same in every way. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that in the ways that matter, in the Gary Francione way, in the abolitionist approach way, we need to stop hurting them. So I think I just went off on huge tangents here, and I really hate making my videos over 10 minutes. I notice it's 13 minutes already. But Swayze, I just want to say that I'm going to watch the next 2 videos that you post, and hopefully you're not going to be, mean or call me cringy. I would prefer you avoid that word, and I guess we're going to be seeing more of each other in the future. So, stay tuned. Take care. My new vegan friend, I hope.